Welcome back and thank you for joining me again. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic that is conjunctions, which is a very major part of parts of speech in our English grammar. We will talk about the various uses of conjunctions, what is its importance in English, and also why it is also considered very important in the case of writing complex sentences and also when we're trying to talk in a very fluent manner. So basically, conjunctions are important for writing complex essays when you're trying to write a long passage or a long article, let's say. So all of these things you need conjunctions, and therefore we have to understand their correct usage and what are the different types of conjunctions also. We will deal with that in our class. So thank you and let's begin. First and foremost, we will talk about what are conjunctions. Conjunctions are basically joining words. If you ask me the basic definition of what a conjunction is, it is a joining word. Any word that joins two sentences or any word that joins two words or phrases, they'll be considered as conjunction. We'll have to understand that the conjunctions are of different types. First and foremost, they have three main types, that is subordinating, coordinating, and correlative conjunctions. We also understand that they have a different function. They perform as a connector, but then at the same time, they play a very major role in giving us the entire meaning of a sentence. They can change the meaning of a sentence if you use them correctly in any sentence. So let's see. Definition of the conjunction is it's a part of speech used to connect elements within a sentence or across the sentence. Now this means that conjunctions does not join just words itself, but they join sentences as well, two sentences and even phrases as well. So it's basically performing the function of joining. Okay, and in any parts of the sentences, you can add it and make sure that you're joining the different ideas in a sentence. They are not just used to join different sentences again, but also you can join similar meaning words and similar meaning sentences into one sentences by using conjunction. Like I said, three main types of conjunctions. What are they? Coordinating, subordinating, and correlative conjunctions. So let's take a look at the coordinating conjunction. That is the first type of conjunction. First and foremost, if you want to remember coordinating conjunctions, you can just remember this basic formula, and that is fanboys. In this fanboys, you will see this spelling, Fanboys. The minute you remember this, you will also be able to understand what are coordinating conjunctions. If I ask you to name coordinating conjunctions, you can name them as for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and since. These are called coordinating conjunctions that you can memorize or you can keep in your mind by understanding this formula, that is fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or yet are understood as coordinating conjunctions. Now, if we look into the detail, you can take a look at this sentence. You see this one, she likes tea and coffee. Here we have the sentence. I'm saying that she likes tea. Again, with another noun, and that is she likes tea and coffee, right? So the word joining these two are the word and, is the word and, right? She likes tea and coffee. So the word joining word here is performing what function? It is performing the function of joining two similar things in a sentence. Tea and coffee are what? Beverages, right? So if it is joining two similar things or elements in a sentence, it is understood as coordinating conjunctions. Let's move on to the second example. I was tired, but I finished my work. Here we have the word but. Here I have I was tired, I finished my work. What do you see in the sentence? We see that two different sentences are being joined together here, right? But there's also one important thing that you will notice, and that is both of the sentences are independent clauses. Independent clauses. Now, what is an independent clause? An independent clause is a type of sentence that has a subject, verb, and an object in the sentence, and they make complete sense without any added information. If I say, I was tired, all the information that I want to tell you about myself is there. I was tired. We have the subject, we have the verb, and we have the object as well, right? So it means it's an independent clause, making complete sense without any added information. Again, in the second part of the sentence, I finished my work also. Again, there's the subject, there is the verb, and there is the object as well. What is it showing? It's an independent clause. So coordinating conjunctions joins similar elements, also joins independent clauses together. So what is the basic function? Basic function is joining the similar elements and also joining independent clauses. One rule that you'll have to remember when we talk about coordinating conjunction, and that is whenever we are using independent clause, you will have to add a comma before the coordinating conjunction. That means when we want to join two independent clauses, right? The coordinating conjunctions that we use will be coming after a comma, not before or anything else. If you don't add a comma, then that will be a grammatically incorrect sentence. So let's take a look at this example. I wanted to leave, I stayed. Two independent clause, right? Here we have a coordinating conjunctions joining these two sentences. And we have the comma before the coordinating conjunction. That is the rule. So please remember, coordinating conjunctions, they don't just join sentences, they join elements also. Elements means similar, word with word, phrase with phrase, independent clause with independent clause. That is coordinating conjunction. Shall we move on to the next one? The next one is subordinating conjunctions. Let's take a look at the definition. They introduce dependent clause showing a relationship such as time, cause, condition, contrast, etc. Very important. What do? They join a dependent clause with an independent clause. There is a predetermined sentence and we join another dependent clause to make sure that you're giving the full information in a sentence. And we do that by using subordinating conjunctions. They will give us information about time, about the cause, about the condition. Contrast. Contrast means different ideas, not similar, but different ideas, right? Contrast. So therefore, words like because, although, if, when, since, while, unless. So when is and while is used to talk about the relation of time, right? We use because to show the cause or condition. We use if to show contrast or some kind of a conditional sentence. Yes or no? So these are all considered as subordinating conjunctions. Let's take a look at the example here. I left because I was late. Two different sentences. What is there? There is a dependent clause. I left, I was late. Two different sentences being joined by the word because. What is the conjunction here? This is a subordinating conjunction. What is it telling us? Because I was late, I left. That means it is showing the cause of my action, right? It is showing the cause of my action. What is the cause of my action? Because I was late. So the word because is joining these two sentences together and telling you the reason of my leaving. Second one, will start when she arrives. It is showing the relation of what? Time. When do we start? When she arrives. So our meeting beginning is dependent on her arrival. And that is being shown to us, that relation is being shown to us by the word when. These are understood as subordinating conjunctions. If you take a look, one very important thing is that these conjunctions create complex sentences. We have one main clause and one dependent clause. That means this thing this part of the sentence will not have any complete meaning without the first part, right? So this is a dependent clause and this is an independent clause. Yes or no? So what do we see in a subordinating conjunction? We see that it is formation of a complex sentence, that is one main clause with one dependent clause in a sentence, and that is when we use subordinating conjunctions. With this, we are finished with subordinating conjunction. I hope you've understood the concept and what it means. Let's move on to the third type, and that is correlative conjunction. Correlative conjunction is much more simpler and easier to understand as compared to coordinating and subordinating, and that is, it is a very unique conjunction. They come in pairs. They are not just one word, they come in pairs. What are they? Either or, neither nor, not only but also, and all of the various examples written here. And what do? Their function is they work in pairs to connect equal elements in a sentence. They will connect equal elements to show us the sentences, the elements in a sentence, and they join together those elements. If you take a look at this one, either you come with us or you stay here. In this sentence, can you identify the conjunction? I believe it is easy, either and or, right? So what you find here is these two are joining what? You come with us, you stay here. Two different elements, sorry, two similar elements in a sentence being joined by what? By a correlative conjunction. So what you see here is that there is a separation of the conjunction in the sentence, within the sentence. That means we do not write this together, but they will come separately in one sentence, but their function is joining the sentences. Okay? If you take a look at the second example. She is not only smart, but also hardworking. She is not only smart, but also hardworking. So I'm joining two similar elements, smart and hardworking, right? With what? With not only, but also. So what you see here is they join what? Equal elements in a sentence. They come separately within the sentence, but their function is joining the two similar or equal elements. Let's take a look at the note. You keep the structure parallel. Both sides of the correlative pair should match grammatically. Whenever you write either or, neither nor, right? Not only but also, what you have to understand is that you will have to keep them grammatically similar, both parts of that sentence. Then only you can use correlative because they're related to one another. You cannot write contrasting ideas in one sentence and use correlative conjunction. They will have to have a similar meaning or similar elements in a sentence for you to write correlative conjunctions. So on to the next point, and that is the conjunctions role. Conjunctions do not just have the role of joining sentences and words, but they also have a logical role. And what is that logical role? They show us various elements in a sentence. And what is that? They show us the cause or effect. They show us contrast or condition in a sentence. And what is that? Whenever I say because, it is giving us a reason of certain actions in a sentence. What happened, to who it happened, or why it happened, right? If I use the word because, it is giving me the reason of that very sentence. So that is what conjunctions are. They don't just perform the function of joining parts of speech, any sentences, right? They don't just perform the function of joining words and phrases, but they also give us the cause. Let's take a look at this example. She failed because she didn't study, right? The word because is joining she failed and she didn't study. Two elements in one sentence. One independent clause, one dependent clause. That much we're clear, right? But what you can see here is It is giving you the reason or the cause of her failure. Yes? Why did she fail? The reason, she did not study. So the cause of her failure is because she did not study, right? So the word because is showing us that very element. And what is that element? The logical role. They are playing the logic role in one sentence. If you take a look at the second sentence, he is rich yet unhappy. What is the word being used? Yet unhappy. That means it is showing contrast. He is rich, right? So we consider a person who is rich must always be happy. Yes or no? But in this sentence, we are seeing that he is unhappy, right? So despite him being rich and having a lot of money, he is not happy. So that is the contrast of emotion that I'm showing you in this sentence through the conjunction yet. Okay, next one, it is the condition. We'll go hiking if it doesn't rain. The action of us going hiking is dependent on the fact that it will rain or it won't rain. Yes or no? So only if, that means the condition is there in this sentence. Only if it doesn't rain, we'll go for hiking. So the word if is not only performing the function of joining, but it has a logical role of giving us the condition in a sentence. Okay, with this we have understood the various functions of conjunctions, what are the different types, right? And what are the usage in every sentences that we use, in every sentences that we speak or write, what are the functions that a conjunction performs. Let's look at the common errors and the clarification. That means a lot of times we have conjunctions that are used improperly in a sentence. And what are those common errors? A lot of people make silly mistakes, very simple mistakes, because conjunction is not that complicated, right? But we do tend to use certain punctuations that are not necessary. We do tend to use unnecessary conjunction and sometimes even incorrect conjunctions, and that is what we have to keep in mind. First and foremost, let's take a look at the sentence. I went home because I was tired and I took a nap. In this sentence, when you read this, it sounds very clear, compact also, and sometimes when you read this, you will find this is a grammatically correct sentence. I went home because I was tired is a correct sentence, and I took a nap. But there is a small error in this sentence. And what is that? We are going to use the word then in this sentence. And since we don't have this, it is an incorrect sentence. The correct sentence is this one. Okay, I went home because I was tired and then I took a nap. It makes it more feasible for someone who is listening to you, right? It is talking about the sequence of the action. Okay, somebody has done something right after another. So if you just write I went home because I was tired and I took a nap, it does not give us a clear indication of the sequence of the action. But the minute I say I went home because I was tired and then I took a nap, shows the sequence of the sentence, right? So this is how we use conjunctions, and also the fact that we use a comma before a coordinating conjunction. So please keep this in mind. It's a very small thing, but you have to understand that without then, the sentence is ambiguous. Ambiguous means it might have several meaning within one sentence. If I say, and I took a nap, it might have a meaning of maybe it came after or it came before my action of coming home, right? So it has a several meaning. It has a possibility of several meaning in one sentence, right? But if I write then, it has only one meaning. And that is why we use this type of sentences, because we want to keep the meaning we want to keep the meaning intact. We don't want to person who is listening or writing or reading your work make various imaginations through your sentence. They only have to understand what you're trying to say, right? And that will come when you write this type of conjunctions in a sentence. So let's understand the various conjunctions through these exercises. Since we've discussed the various types and the various common mistakes that we make, I hope you'll be able to solve this question. The first sentence is, she stayed up late although she was tired. What is the conjunction here, if you can identify? And that is the word although. Although is the conjunction used in the sentence to join she stayed up late and she was tired. It is showing what? Two contrasting ideas in one sentence. So therefore, this is a subordinating conjunction. The second one, both the manager and the assistant were absent. We have this one, right? And it is joining the manager and the assistant. Two similar elements. What is it? It's a coordinating conjunction, right? Next one, would you prefer pizza or pasta? What would you like to understand through this one? Or, right? This is a conjunction. Which type of conjunction is it? Pizza or pasta? Yes or no? Similar elements. Food, right? Joined by this one. So what is it? It is also a coordinating conjunction. So this is how you identify conjunctions, by understanding the concept, not just looking at whether it is joining, but also the function that it is performed, the logical role that it is performing in the sentence, and it will be very easy for you to solve any type of questions that has conjunctions in it, and you'll also be able to use them properly in any sentences that you write or you speak with any person next to you. So thank you for joining me. Please follow us for more such interesting context, and have a nice day. Thank you.